Let's get right to the point. You probably clicked on this video because you probably own too much useless stuff and you either don't know where you should even start to declutter or you're tired of using the always same methods. The one in, one out method, the packing party, Marie Kondo's does it spark joy method, or the classic, the donate, keep, sell piles. Maybe you've tried them all and still end up in the cycle of decluttering and buying new stuff. So neither your piles of clutter nor your finances get significantly better. But good that you're here because we will tackle exactly this problem today. If you're new here, I'm Uta, and this channel is all about minimalism, simplifying your life, and saving money to be able to fund your dream life, but all in a German efficient way. So most methods just treat the symptoms, but not the cause. We have all those methods, but none of them actually cured the origin of our clutter, and we end up buying too much stuff again. It's kind of like the same with medicine, where we don't treat the cause, we only treat the symptoms. So today I want to share a completely different approach with you, a way to start decluttering your home without spending hours decluttering, which is sustainable and will actually cure the cause to a certain extent and prevent you from cluttering your home again. It's a method that doesn't create giant piles of things. And the crazy thing is, after 30 days, or maybe you want to extend it to even more days, you might look around your home and realize that you haven't just gotten rid of a lot of stuff, but also already changed the way you think about your stuff and your consumption behavior. For me, minimalism is not about counting every single item in your home or to get rid of things just because you're supposed to be a better person the fewer items you own. It's about creating space for the things that really matter for you. In my life, things have to have a job and to make my life either more efficient or more comfortable or better in any kind of way. And if they are just draining my energy, they need to go. When I think the reason people hesitate to declutter and why you probably haven't started or why you always get stuck is that we think that decluttering is always about losing things. But what if the first step in decluttering wasn't removing something, but actually reconnecting with everything what you already have and gaining something, not in form of things, but in form of perceived value? But think about your home for a second. How many things could you name right now if I gave you a list? If you want, you can try to write it down in the comments what you own, and you will see that it's pretty hard to list everything just by writing down what you still have present in your brain. Do you know every single kitchen gadget that rots in your cabinet? And do you know every bottle of shampoo in your bathroom? I think most of us don't have a problem with having too much. We have a problem with not seeing, using, and appreciating what we already have. And when we don't see and use what we have, we naturally start looking for something new, aka we buy more. So for the next 30 days, we will stop looking for something new and start rediscovering what we already own. And this idea actually came from something I already did with my wardrobe. Check my latest video about the German method out, where I explain how I decluttered 70% of my clothes just with 1 hour of work. Basically forced myself to wear every single item in my closet before I bought anything new. And I realized, why only do this with clothes? Why not apply the same idea to my entire home and use every single item before I'm allowed to buy something new? Because when you start using what you already have, something interesting happens. You start to declutter naturally because you finally experience your belongings again and can rationally decide if they still make sense for you or not. I love this method so much because it basically combines a normal decluttering process with a no-buy challenge at the same time. When you say, I have to use every single item in my home, or at least in one category, before I buy something new, it automatically sets a lot of creativity free. It sets a lot of abundance free, where you feel like, I already have so many things in this category. And you probably, I don't know, open your kitchen cabinets and think, oh my God, I still have this juicer I bought and I thought it would change my life. It actually didn't, but now I can do a week where I do my own juices in the morning and I don't have to buy them at Starbucks or somewhere. Or you look at your closet and think, I actually have so many clothes. Let's to look on Pinterest how I can make the most out of it. I know, guys, I still say clothes. You already told me it's clothes, But it's so hard to learn it. I'm sorry. You have to live with it. Or you go through your beauty products and realize I can maybe use this face cream that didn't work for me as a body lotion, or I can use this shampoo that doesn't work for my hair as a shower gel. And that feeling is incredibly powerful because instead of feeling like you're restricting yourself, you start feeling super rich, not because you bought more, but because you finally appreciate what you already have. So if you're not already super minimalist, it's obviously gonna be super hard to use every single item in your home within the next 30 days. So what I'm doing is I do make my categories and then I rotate them through the year. So I choose one category for every day. I use at least one item out of this category for the day, and then I'm going to repeat it the next month. I know what you're thinking. You're like, but when I have like 30 jewelry items, when I only take one each month out of my jewelry box, then it will take me like 13 months until I'm done with decluttering. Yes, I see where you're coming from, but let me tell you, when you start to pick one item out of your jewelry box and you say, this is the one I'm going to use today, and you see 30 others lying there, and often it will naturally kickstart the decluttering process. And then you're sitting there in front of your jewelry box anyways. And so a lot of times I just went through the whole thing, even though I just wanted to start with one piece so they can go already now and I don't have to wait for another 6 months to declutter them. So you can maybe see it a little bit as tricking your brain into starting the decluttering process. As I already said, I use my list of categories. So started with my kids' toys because one of the simplest examples was replacing batteries, something that has been sitting in their rooms because nobody took 2 minutes to fix it. And suddenly something that felt useless becomes an entertaining afternoon for your kids. Or use the kitchen tools you bought. Many of us have a few things in our kitchen that we bought with the best intentions. As I already said, like the juicer, for example. Maybe it's a pasta machine, a bread maker, a special baking tool. Oh, instead of buying another kitchen, get your spouse and make you a delicious dinner date night at home with the fancy kitchen appliance you own. Another thing I'm regularly decluttering and definitely not buying any new for the next 10 years is cookbooks. We collect inspiration all the time, but then we end up making the same 5 meals again and again. So one day I simply picked a cookbook from my shelf and cooked a recipe from it. And you can do the same. I think jewelry is such a good example because it's something we often completely forget about. We wear the same few pieces because they are easy, they are in reach, they are on our bath counter, and we forgot about all the good things. So choose a necklace you haven't worn or a pair of earrings sitting in a drawer, and it will make your outfit feel so much different without buying anything new. If you're somebody who just started their decluttering journey, I actually have a free minimalism planner bundle on my website. You just have to sign up with your email address and it lands right in your inbox, and it will hopefully help you to start your decluttering process. And if you enjoy videos like this, I would really appreciate it if you could give the video a like, and maybe you've already discovered the hype function. It might seem like a small thing, but this is actually what we creators live from. So it helps me to provide you with more of these videos, and it actually makes me so happy to make these videos. I would love to continue doing this, so please, you know what to do. Let's go ahead with our decluttering challenge. Then we'll be probably crafting material. You can make a crafting afternoon with friends. Maybe you've bought watercolor equipment. I was a victim of the watercolor hype on TikTok before I deleted TikTok. Watch some tutorials and get going with your art supplies. And as I already said, often starting with using one item out of a category sets so much energy and motivation free that you will probably use or declutter more than just one item at a time. Get creative with your stuff. Maybe that means putting all the half-used products somewhere visible. That goes especially for opened body lotions or bathroom product. Maybe you just start to use hand cream as a body lotion. Maybe you're cutting some tubes open to use up the rest. Sometimes we don't use the nice dishes for a normal lunch and light the candles instead of saving them. Why are we always keeping the good stuff for good occasions? I don't know. Let me know if you're doing this. The special occasion is that we're here, that we are alive. So start using the good things. And if you realize that it's really not anymore for you, that it doesn't fit your lifestyle, that it's not fun to use it anymore, then please let it go the same day. I always put a box somewhere It's often just in our laundry room. You don't need a whole free Saturday. You don't need to empty your whole house. You just need a few minutes every day to pick one forgotten thing and actually use it for its original purpose. And those tiny actions add up over time. I think the biggest benefit of using every single item we already have is that it's sometimes uncomfortable because we realize I have so many things I don't want to use anymore. And sometimes we feel embarrassed that we bought so much, and see how we underestimated how quickly our brain got used to new things we bought. Sometimes new things feel exciting because they are new, but when we haven't seen an item for, I don't know, 6 months, then it sometimes can feel new again and sets dopamine free. And then that can change your relationship with shopping so much, because once you really understand how much is there and how long it takes you to actually go through every single item in your home and how painful it is sometimes to really take everything in your hand, take care of it, put maintenance in it. And as soon as we realize how much there already is in our home, it kind of becomes ridiculous to buy new stuff. And this is hopefully where the cure to your shopping habits start to kick in, when you realize that you start to ask yourself, has it actually a purpose in my life? Or will it just be another painful reminder in my next decluttering cycle of my spending habits? As you will notice that when you start to use your things more, you will actually get a better feeling about what's actually missing in your life and what you already have more than enough of. So your home will naturally start getting lighter, and the decluttering will come naturally with this process. And let me tell you, it will become so much easier when you've actually used it before you declutter it, because you gave the thing a chance, it fulfilled its purpose one more time, and then you can let it go in peace because you're making a decision based on your actual experience with it. Now, I want to be clear, this challenge will probably not turn your home into the perfect minimalistic home within the next 30 days. And that is not the goal. The goal is to start somewhere, get some awareness about our sometimes really ridiculous consumption behavior, and to break the cycle of decluttering and buying new stuff. After those 30 days, or maybe you even extend the challenge to half a year like I did, you will have fewer things sitting unused, finished products instead of constantly opening new ones. You will probably know your wardrobe better and don't feel the urge to buy something new. And you will definitely have more gratitude for your home and what's already there. And probably most importantly, you trust yourself more with your money when you walk into a store, because you realize I actually have everything I need to create a beautiful life, and I don't end up shopping when I'm just bored. So instead of focusing on what you're lacking, you're focusing on what's already there. And that's a much more positive approach, because instead of feeling overwhelmed by your stuff, you start to reconnect with your stuff. So I hope that everybody understood my method. It's sometimes hard for me to explain it in English. This is not my native language, as you can obviously hear. And my ADHD brain sometimes makes it difficult to communicate a certain method on points. So please let me know if you need my instructions to be more clear and more on point. I'm doing my best. And yep, I would say let's keep on decluttering and saving and simplifying our life. And then we will see each other in the next video.